You've got to meet the baby. Hello. It has taken me this long, 6 weeks post-birth, to actually get back to filming. I recorded my first shopping haul in a few months just a couple of days ago. That'll be uploaded just after this one. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get into the full swing of it from now on. And in fact, what I really want to do is to record more than I was last year. So I feel like I've been doing this for years, since 2005, seriously, I think. Yeah, wow. And I still struggle to feel comfortable, natural, behind a camera or in front of a camera, whatever it may be. So that's my goal this year, just to chill out, relax a bit in front of the camera. Like, yeah, hey guys, might just fall asleep. This is Isla Grace, born on her due date, 17th of January. I've been putting lots of photos on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, then I'm Feed a Tribe over there as well. So this video is sort of like a hello, sorry I've been gone for so long, introduction to Isla, birth story video, and what's coming next video, all in one. Birth story. So the day before her due date, 16th of January, I woke up having mild contractions that was sort of fairly regular. And I think I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. So I was awake from 4:30 in the morning on that day. Also had a really late night too, so I didn't get much sleep, probably about 4 hours. And then as the rest of the household began to wake up, of course, the contractions slowed down. I wouldn't say stopped. There were times where I didn't have any for like an hour or two, but for the most part, they just sort of slowed down and came and went throughout the day. So I rested. I had a midwife appointment that day. So my midwife came over. She comes to me, which is fantastic. And as soon as she came in the door, she saw me, and obviously she saw me. She could sort of tell that things might be starting, and I said, oh, you know, I've been having irregular contractions since 4:30, and I think that tonight's going to be the night, sort of thing. So she stayed only for about 10 minutes and then left me to it. And I had a rest on the couch, such a nice rest. I really remember that rest because I didn't have any contractions while I was resting. And then in the evening, things, I could sense, yeah, definitely it's going to be labour. I'm going to birth either overnight or early in the morning, I thought. So but it wasn't until around 11 that because I get my parents to pick my other children up when I'm in labour. I have home births, so but I really like not to have to think about Anthony being called to other kids at any point, or other kids. I don't want to feel hindered. I get my parents to pick my kids up when I'm in labour. Now, the kids love it too. It's a big adventure. They all get to go to Nana and Pop's all at once, and my parents come over. My dad just takes our van, and my mum drives their car back. So it was about 11 o'clock at night. We got my parents to pick the kids up because I knew it would definitely, if it not overnight, it would be early in the morning, and I didn't want to have to wake my parents and my children up in the middle of the night. And my kids had already, they just watched, it was the school holidays. So my kids had been up to watch a movie, and so a few of them had fallen asleep, but a few of them were still awake anyway, or just, you know, were just getting ready for bed. So that was okay. And I'll say, this is my 10th baby, but I've had various different types of labour. Most of my labours, I've had a nice long early labour. Not all of my boys have allowed me to have that, but all my girls have. So Isla allowed me a nice long sort of pre-labour. So all through that day, I knew that I was going to have a baby by the next day, and I was able to mentally prepare and rest and organise my kids and all that sort of thing. So I did that, but things were still nice and slow. I was able to breathe through, and then I didn't film any of it, guys, not even for me, so sorry about that, but the story will have to do. And I just didn't feel like filming. I just didn't feel, so I haven't filmed in like 3 months, and it's not that I don't want to share with you, but I just have not filmed because I just have not wanted to bring my camera out for anything. It's really weird, but anyway. So I was allowing Anthony to sleep, and things picked up at around, I don't know, around midnight, well, after the kids were gone, and Anthony was sleeping, and it was about, no, things really picked up probably about 1:30, maybe even later. I can't even remember, guys. And but Anthony was asleep, and I just kept thinking, oh, I'm breathing through these well. I'll let Anthony sleep. I'll just see what happens with the next contraction. Oh, and then the next one would come. Oh, I don't know if I should call my midwives. You know, I know the end's going to be really quick, but I don't know if it's still early. I'm handling it really well. I don't want to call them too early. I don't want to bother them, that sort of thing, and I don't want to wake Anthony. And but eventually I did get him to call them, and that was at around 15:15, maybe it was about 2:00. And I was still breathing through them. Anthony got up because they were just starting to like really pick up. And it's funny because in retrospect I talk about this and it doesn't sound really interesting at all. At the time, you know what labour's actually like. It's incredibly intense. So when I say, oh, you know, I was breathing through them, you know, it was actually all fun and games. Then there came a point where I wanted Anthony to fill the bath because they were just had that edge, and I said to him, we can top it up with hot water. I don't want to not have the opportunity for a water birth though, because all my babies have been born in water except for my first, who was born via cesarean. And so he did that, and luckily he did that. And it was about by 2:45, I was very vocal, and it was incredibly intense. So I was headed towards transition. And yeah, I went from being able to breathe through to whoa really quickly. And so it wasn't hard until the last like 15, 20 minutes, I swear. It really wasn't. I was just tired more than anything. And but then that last 20 minutes really made up for all of that anyway. Because when it's fast, it's more intense, right? So I went, you know, you can't get into any really comfortable position. I ended up in the bathroom, and I was just, you know, leaning on everything, and I just sort of went down to my knees, leaning over the bath, still on the tiles. And I remember thinking, I'm so hungry and I'm so tired. Oh, that's what I remember throughout my whole life. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. That was it. I just wanted to be over because I was so tired. Because by now it's like 3 a.m. almost, and I hadn't slept since 4 a.m.-ish previous morning. So I was tired. And So, and then I was really hungry, and I remember saying, can you get me a jelly bean? So I had a red jelly bean, and I'm trying to chew this really chewy jelly bean, but I needed the energy. And then, like a contraction or two after that, I'm saying, I feel sick. Can you get me one of those vomit bags? I didn't end up using it, but I remember at the time regretting having that jelly bean. And but this was obviously a really transition. And then I was pushy. I got pushy really quickly, and then I'm saying to Anthony, should I get in the tub? Because I was just questioning everything. I don't know why. I think it was my way of saying, I want to get in the tub. And he's saying, no, I think we should leave it a bit, because in his mind, he knew it was good pain relief. And I don't know that it's good pain relief, it's more of a distraction more than anything. And so he wanted me to leave that until the end, because there's nothing else. Like, that's all you have at home is you have bath, you have hot water. So he wanted me to still have that available to me when things got even tougher. So he didn't know where I actually was. I think I didn't. He didn't know. It must have looked a lot more calm on the outside than it felt internally. And he also says retrospectively that he doesn't think I was that noisy, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. So anyway, and then it took me, I think, 2 contractions to get in the bath. I said, no, I want to get in the bath. And I was straddling the bath at one point, just having a contraction, just hanging on for dear life. And then I got in, and I said, it's too hot, I couldn't sit down. And so Anthony ran the cold water, and I'm over the faucet, and the cold water is running into the bath, and it was such a nice thing to focus on. Not only was it nice that it was cold, but it was a focus for me to the noise and the feeling of the cold water going into the bath. So I was over that faucet, and I had a few really strong contractions, and then I was more pushy. And I remember Anthony went to turn off the cold water, and I said, no, don't. And he's like, I have to. Anyway, and then suddenly, and the midwives weren't here yet, and then suddenly I had a true pushing contraction, and I said, she's coming. and so I sort of maneuvered myself around. I was sort of on my knees in the bath, and I felt her head. As soon as I said she's coming, then within the same contraction, I could feel her. Her head was there. It probably was only all up 3 minutes or so to when she was actually born, but it felt like longer. Yeah. And so I was, on my hands. Anthony went into midwife mode. He went and grabbed a mirror, like I cared about a mirror. He went and grabbed a torch and a mirror, and he's trying to see what's happening, and I don't care about anything. I'm just, you're in the moment, you're doing what you have to do. She was born, and I brought her in front of me, and her cord was quite short, so I immediately stood up to detangle her from the cord. Then I was just elated, and I said, can you go grab your phone, take some photos. So he did that, and I'm still sort of just kneeling in the water, and then I sat down again. He got some towels, and the thing is, Anthony thought to actually take note of the time as soon as she was born. Well, by the time we got the towels, he said it's 3:04, so she was born at 3:03. So that was really good to have the time. I didn't even think about that. And so we were just chilling out in the bath. She came out crying as soon as her head was above the water. She was screaming, which was great. And she did look bruised. She came out quite quickly. So her face was bruised, but it was all just perfect. And we were just chilling out in the bathroom. The midwives both rocked up and walked in and said, oh, do we have ourselves a baby, before they can see us, because I suppose they could hear the calm and perhaps a little bit of laughter as well. So that was that. And then the midwives sort of, you know, had a cup of coffee, and I birthed the placenta, and they neatened up my bed and got me situated on my bed with my baby, and left, and that's that. And that's about when I posted the photo of her having, when she wasn't quite 2.5 hours old. So that's my birth story. I don't know if I left anything obvious out or anything like that, so if you have any questions, please ask. And I didn't even bother with the backstory to that, as far as I have home births. She's my 10th child, my 9th VBAC, 9th water birth, 8th home birth. So I forgot to tell you all of that. If it's important to anyone. I suppose I just assume a lot of you have been following me for a while, and you know those sorts of things, but I'm sure a few of you don't. So if there's any other questions, just ask. So we're still enjoying the postnatal freezer meals, and I still have to actually put together the video for the second video of those that I did prenatally. Eventually I'll get around to it. But if you guys want any sort of video on how we're dishing those up, or what we eat in a week as a family, or anything like that, please let me know. Or perhaps school lunches, toddler snacks, how I'm doing that sort of thing with a newborn in tow. Anything food related, leave your requests down below, and that would be much appreciated, actually, because I'm racking my brain trying to think of ideas for videos that you might enjoy. I'm back to doing my grocery hauls, my grocery haul videos, that is, and I thought I'd do a video on postnatal supplies or newborn things that I really enjoy using. In my experience, having had 10 children, what's necessary, what's not, that sort of thing. Again, if you want to know anything specific, please ask. Isla has little mini sleeps. As you see, she had a little sleep while I was filming, and now she's awake. So do you want to show people your beautiful big blue eyes? Show people how beautiful. You're upset about that, are you? Where's Isla? Where's Isla? So that's my intro to Isla and birth story. And I have to get back into watching YouTube. I watched one of Jane Morell's, two of her videos this morning, and they were the first videos I've watched in 3 months too. So it hasn't been that I just haven't been producing them, guys. I haven't been watching them at all either. So I'm going to get back into all of it. The other thing, now that Isla is 6 weeks old, I'm starting to get back into trying to get stronger, fitter. It's so easy to lose a lot of muscle tone while pregnant and not lifting other heavy children and shopping and that sort of thing so much. And then postnatally, I was stiff and sore for the first few weeks. Still a little bit stiff and sore, but again, I think that's that I just have to build up strength again. So I'm getting into that sort of thing. So if anyone wants to follow my journey with that, or anything specific related to health after baby, I could do something like that. So just let me know. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking with you in the comments, because I now have comments again, so that's fantastic. That's what YouTube's all about. And I look forward to making the next video too, being on the ball now. From me and Isla, who's fallen asleep again. And say bye-bye to the people. Bye-bye, people. Until next time.